this is a milestone. There's never in American history has the federal government taken a position on public health like this. And because of President Trump's leadership, it's not just one cabinet secretary, it's the entire government that is behind this report. And I can say again, I talked a little bit about when I met Rachel Carson as a boy. My uncle tried to do this, but he was killed and it never got done. And ever since then, we've been waiting for a president who would stand up and speak on behalf of the health of the American people and say, there is no difference between good economic policy, good environmental policy, and good public health policy, and good industrial policy. We can have all of them, but we need a united cabinet, and we need to go forward as a single people. I want to thank you for that, President Trump.
Every single one of you needs to go read the MAHA report that just came out yesterday. It is absolutely phenomenal. You know, I was talking to my wife about this earlier. It's not like earth-shattering things that they're discovering, you know, stay away from processed foods, over-medicalization, screen time, autism rates, and all that. Well, the autism rate is pretty insane. But, I mean, a lot of the stuff that we kind of already knew, you know, stay away from crappy food, processed foods, fast food, et cetera, et cetera. Whole foods are the real answer. It's not something that's, again, earth-shattering, but what is earth-shattering is that something is being done about it. This is where government comes into play. This is where having the right people in charge makes a mountain of difference. The food that we eat, that we consume, the water that we drink, that we consume, we put into our bodies, what makes us healthy, what's not good for us, what needs to be kept out of our foods. Essentially, what we've been eating is absolute poison. And the people who have come before this administration and Bobby should be ashamed of themselves. My only question is, why wasn't this addressed earlier? And I'm going to share with you an amazing, phenomenal clip of Bobby Kennedy absolutely blasting and torching smug Kaitlan Collins from CNN. It is a absolute delight to watch this. But really, why wasn't this ever done before? Before I get to the clips of Bobby Kennedy and Kaitlan Collins on CNN, I just wanted to share this really quickly. And then I've got something from Dr. Makari regarding the COVID vaccine. You don't want to miss that. But I just want to share this clip because I think this is probably the most alarming stat out of everything else, never mind the tons of things that were discovered. To me, this autism report and analytic and data is just, it puts me literally on the floor. Watch.
4 months ago, I created the Presidential Commission to Make America Healthy Again, and today the commission officially delivers its first report on childhood health. Here are just some of the alarming findings, and they really are alarming. It's unbelievable, terrible. More than 40% of American children now have at least one chronic health condition. Since the 1970s, rates of childhood cancer have soared in many cases by nearly 50%, 50%. Well, in the 1960s, less than 5% of the children were obese. Now over 20% are obese. A few decades ago, 1 in 1, think of this one. This is, to me, the one that gets me every time, and it seems to be getting worse. Just a few decades ago, 1 in 10,000 children had autism. Today, it's 1 in 31. Last time I heard the number is 1 in 34, right? Now it's 1 in 31. There's something wrong, and we will not stop until we defeat the chronic disease epidemic in America. We're going to get it done. For the first time ever, this report examines some of the root causes that many believe are making our children sicker and our population sicker, I guess. It just doesn't stop with the children. It's our population also, such as the ultra-processed foods, over-medicalization and over-prescription and widespread exposure to potentially toxic chemicals. Unlike other administrations, we will not be silenced or intimidated by the corporate lobbyists or special interests. And I want this group to do what they have to do. We have to spell it out. In some cases, it won't be nice or it won't be pretty, but we have to do it. When you hear 10,000, it was 1 in 10,000, and now it's 1 in 31 for autism. I think that's just a terrible thing.
You're a child. Serious question. Answer me in the comments. I don't know about you, but when I was a kid growing up in the 70s and 80s, I don't remember hearing about transgenderism. I don't remember hearing about autism. I don't remember hearing about, mental health problems like ADHD. I don't remember hearing about any. Am I the only one or did I just miss something? I'm happy to concede that I'm wrong and that I missed something. Let me know in the comments down below. And then lastly, how could anybody be against this? How could anybody not? I mean, this to me, if this doesn't warrant a Nobel Peace Prize or a spot on Mount, I mean, this alone, saving our children, saving the health of our American citizens, of our nation, of our future, literally our future is in the hands of children and young people, not nurturing that, doing everything we can imaginable to take care of that and protect that. Who could be against that? Never mind every single thing else that Trump and this administration is doing to help Americans, saving on fraud, waste, abuse, securing the border, taking men out of women's sports, taking them out of our locker rooms of our daughters, wives, eradicating the most cancerous, discriminatory DEI woke policies. I mean, the list goes on and on, but just this alone. Now watch this clip as smug Kaitlan Collins, hack reporter, actually is not supporting this and not giving RFK Jr. the credit that is due, and him just obliterating her to his face. Watch.
But I wonder what you would say to maybe a single mom of 2 kids who's reading this report about how harmful these cheap but very accessible foods are for her family, and saying, well, sometimes that's the best we can do, and that's why that's what's on the food or at the table at the end of the day, or that's what's in their lunchbox.
It's an illusion to think that processed food is cheap, because you end up paying for it with diabetes. You end up paying for it with autoimmune dysregulation, with mitochondrial dysfunction, with inflammation, and you end up paying much higher costs in the long run.
But they're not paying.
Now, there are food deserts in this country where people at this point have a hard time getting access. I met with the health technology companies this week, and it was an extraordinary meeting, and one of the statements they made is that there's no place in this country, in the lower 48, where you can't get access to good foods. It's not easy access, it had been in the past, and that's been part of the economic drivers, and also the fact that people don't understand that these processed foods are poison.
But they're more and more,
and you're watching companies now that are changing their ingredients because of this movement, that are making good food more available to Americans because they're demanding it. There was no demand for it before. This report is about getting every American to demand the accessibility to good whole food in their neighborhoods. And that, it's going to be a process, but it's already happening. You see these big fast food conglomerates that are switching from seed oils to beef tallow fat. You see them reducing the ingredients. You see Chobani yogurt changing its ingredients because of the demand that has happened because of the MAHA movement. We are going to make sure they have apps that mothers who go into the grocery store have an app that they can flash on the barcode of every product and get a green light, red light, or yellow light. That will allow them.
HHS is creating that?
We're working with industry to do it, and they're already doing it. Mark Hyman's company has done it. Patrick Sonsingh's company has done it. There are many, many apps out there that I use one called Yucca. That is my wife and I consider it invaluable. You can go into any grocery store, flash it at any product, and you can get a go or a no on it. And as that happens, the market, we're not trying to create an anti-state here. We're trying to drive market forces that will drive change in the kind of food Americans get through good information and good science.
That might be one of the best benefits of the MAHA movement, is to actually incentivize these companies to make a change. Again, the information is not earth-shattering in the sense that I think most Americans know and realize that staying away from fast food is probably a good thing. Eating whole foods is definitely a good thing for your health, but actually creating the momentum and the demand that these companies acquiesce and stop using these harmful chemicals, additives, etc. I think RFK Jr. just said it so beautifully there. And here's another clip too, where Collins thinks she gets RFK, with, oh, so the message is to trust the science. Watch his response.
You know, the message was to trust the science and what studies were finding and what people
during
were
COVID,
seeing.
that was a bad message. No, it was trust the experts. That's what you kept telling us. Trust the experts.
I don't know that I ever said that.
Well,
I mean, we talked to the officials. Actually,
your
during
network
COVID,
was saying it every day.
we took the briefings live every day with all of the experts that President Trump. Those are President Trump's doctors, but those are the people President Trump brought out to the briefings.
Oh, President Trump brought, and I can.
He
if
brought
you
Dr.
want to go
Fauci
chapter
and
and
Dr.
verse,
Birx.
I can tell you what President Trump did right and what President Biden did wrong. What I'm saying to you.
But I want to get back to what your comment was about that. You said that people should not take your medical advice.
Yeah,
That's your position?
Yeah, absolutely. People should not be taking medical advice from somebody who is not a physician, but they should also be skeptical about any medical advice. They need to do their own research. You know, you're a mom. If you're a mom, you do your own research on your baby carriage, on your baby bottles, on your baby formula.
But they don't have medical degrees, obviously. If you're a mom and you're looking at what science has been tested, they trust their doctors and their pediatricians.
One of the responsibilities of living in a democracy where physicians and every sort of expert are subject to all kinds of biases. One of the responsibilities of living in a democracy is to do your own research and to make up your own mind.
So that's your message to moms or to anyone, is to do your own research.
I would say be skeptical of authority. My father told me that when I was a young kid. People in authority lie. And we've seen a lot of that in our country. And people in the media lie. And people need to make their own judgments and be skeptical and maintain their capacity for critical thinking. And that was shut down during COVID. And the media was complicit in that.
Disagree on that last part. Secretary Kennedy, thank you for your time.
Good to meet you.
Can you believe the nerve of this absolute walking abomination? I disagree with that last part. The media doesn't lie. The media wasn't complicit in the lie. Bobby Kennedy's absolutely right. Look at your very own fake tapper now trying to push a book about the cover-up that he was the one who was covering up. I mean, it's absolutely insane. Oh my God, it's just, okay. Woo! I love what Bobby said. Critical thinking. And by the way, not only is that something that is an absolute pillar of democracy, but it's what our forefathers, it's what the framers envisioned. It's what our greatest minds, philosophers, poets, Emerson, Whitman, self-reliance, critical thinking. I say it time and time again. When I was teaching Aristotle's principles of rhetoric at the university, ethos, pathos, logos, that's all critical thinking and critical discernment. Then nobody can pull the wool over your eyes. Disagree with that last part. I mean, what an absolute joke. Okay, here is the new FDA commissioner, Dr. Makari. I've been waiting for this clip. This clip is monstrous. Makari just called out Biden on live TV for censoring vaccine data that led to a myocarditis explosion in young men, which is a heart condition. Watch this.
Talk to me about the heart inflammation in young boys and young men. It seems reprehensible that the Biden administration wouldn't have warned us about that early and often.
It was part of the Biden medical establishment censorship complex because any information that related to complications of the vaccines or vaccine injuries was considered COVID vaccine hesitant content. And so it was censored or blocked or slow walked. And so we now have tragically this information that the heart inflammation that occurred in young, healthy men and boys was not disclosed as soon as it should have been. And as a result, thousands of kids probably had this myocarditis complication and didn't have
This is the party of democracy. This is the party that says that we're the threat to democracy. Trump's the threat to democracy. This is the party that says we're in a constitutional crisis. This is the party that appointed Kamala Harris, usurping an actual primary, an unelected official running who was this close to becoming president. This close to becoming president. This is the party that attacks every single day hardworking Americans, that supports criminals, gangsters, rapists, the cancer of society, flies overseas. This is the party that covered up and would not let anybody dare question. That's democracy. You can't question Well, what if I don't want to take this vaccine? What if it's not good for my kid? Can we ask some questions? No, you must take it no matter what. And this right here about the vaccine and everything that we've uncovered, hence, this is criminal. This is criminal. And the fact that Fauci was pardoned, why would you need to be pardoned if you haven't done anything wrong? And the fact now that it's coming out, not only was he pardoned, but he was pardoned by the auto pen and not even Biden, the president of the United States, the acting executive leader, commander in chief of our country, is beyond treasonous and beyond criminal. I can't wait to get your thoughts, your comments on everything. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Please tap the thumbs up if you love America. Go. You can go on your TV remote. Just click on the remote and tap that thumbs up. Just click. It takes 2 seconds. Check out these videos coming up on the screen right here, just in case you missed it. Get one of a kind. This is the mission of our channel. Make common sense go viral. Pin, comment, and description down below. And as always, tap my face right here too. Tap my face right here to subscribe and follow. It's free. And as always, may God bless you and may God bless the USA. I'll see you soon.